And Madam Speaker, I come now to a matter that is related to this. You see, Madam Speaker, the Minister of Finance announced in his budget the sale of the refinery. He did it in a minister's statement earlier, but then comes in the budget and repeated more or less the same thing. You see, Madam Speaker, the minister and his government thought, wrongfully, they would set a fox trap for the opposition. They thought they would set a trap where if we raise any issue, we don't like the workers. If we raise any issue, we don't like OWTU. If we raise, we against the locals. And I have a feeling this government actually named that company patriotic, you know. Because for 4 years, they're accusing us of being unpatriotic. So, what do? Madam Speaker, in the opposition, we have said we are happy, we are pleased that if any local company or group of companies are to be given the refinery, we wish it would be local. Madam Speaker, we do not want the OWTU to fail, Madam Speaker. We want them to succeed. And I call on the OWTU today, do not be conned by this government. Do not get mamagai by the government that may have some other interest in this matter that they will not tell us at this time. You see, Madam Speaker, 15 years ago, more or less, something happened in this country that led to almost the collapse, and I think the collapse of the oil sector. It was Malcolm Jones, Ken Julian, and Lenny Sate. Politicians before us were in the house, in the Red House. Our predecessors generally. Some of us were there, but a bigger group. They raised their voices when they saw what was happening. That administration ignored us. And today, all gone because of the decisions that they took. What is our job as the opposition? Do we stay quiet? Do we just go in a corner and stay quiet and say, we don't want to say anything because they will say we don't like them? No. Madam Speaker, we have a serious duty. We have taken an oath to be fair and to conduct our duties without fear or favor. Madam Speaker, refinery is $5 billion plus. As it is now, it belongs to all of us. We own the refinery at this time, you know. This is our property, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And they have mortgaged the refinery and all other properties and assets there. And secretly think they could get away with it. Madam Speaker, this is a refinery in which between the Manning administration and the member for Siparia administration, do you know this country invested $1.6 billion in that refinery between 2006 and 2013. $1.6 billion US invested. And today, they tell us we shouldn't say anything about that. Don't talk about that. 11 billion TT dollars, as if that is the amusement park in Arangua, Savannah. That is a refinery owned by the people, and we should raise our voices on the matter. Madam Speaker, some time ago I read in the newspaper, it was in October 2018, about a company that was supporting in this matter, a company called SunStone Equity. SunStone Equity is operating out of Suriname. And they were identified early as a private investment firm to help in the bids. Madam Speaker, when I heard this company was in Suriname, I immediately asked some friends of mine to check it out, tell me. Yes, and I praat in Netherlands, but I asked them to please tell me what is happening with this company, because normally if you're going to buy a refinery, you think always that, you know, it will be some companies known to you, but not companies that are unknown. Madam Speaker, would you believe that this company named SunStone, that is identified to assist in purchasing and private investment and so on, this company is operating out of a building in Suriname that is a lodge for visitors. The office is behind a lodge. Like a travel lodge where you go and you sleep and you get up in the morning and move on. In the back, they have an office here. It's called SunStone Equity. They're like Bridgman. And they are like Bridgman before with the boat. The same thing like Bridgman. They are operating in Suriname. Madam Speaker, the principal of that is someone called John Ewald van Dyke. John Ewald van Dyke. So we check him out again. He's Dutch-Canadian. And Madam Speaker, he's spoken about this matter. He's real, I must tell you, he's real. Because he has interest in this business and so on. When you look, John van Dyke is really a political economist writer. He writes books like Jeffrey Harrod and others on political economy and support progressive organizations and doing their international research work and so on. He has written a book called Casino Capitalism. This person is behind SunStone, who we expect will get $700 million US to purchase a refinery. Could you imagine that?
You have to get mad by that.
This person is involved, is a writer, is an author. He's not a businessman of anything we know, but is an author who is the head of SunStone that has an office in the back of a lodge, a travel lodge in Suriname, operating there, and is entering into deals with this government, Madam Speaker, to purchase refinery. That is a serious scandal about to happen. And Madam Speaker, I got the document in Dutch, and I have it in Dutch, and then of course I got someone to do it in English. SunStone Equity has share capital and so on of 500 Suriname dollars, 5,000 Suriname dollars. Share capital, 5,000 Suriname dollars. Issue capital, 1,000 Suriname dollars. Paid in capital, $1,000. It was established, Madam Speaker, I pray that this is right. I hope it's translated properly. But the same date, actually. It was established on January 18, 2018. No. January 2018, time of commencement, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this company established in 2018 a commencement of their offices, but let me be absolutely correct. Date of creation of the company, when it was registered, was the 17th of September 2015. So 15, they register and commence January 18, 2018. And this is a company involved, Madam Speaker, in providing financial support for a multi-billion-dollar bid. $5 billion bid run by one gentleman who we have said is an academic writer of some kind and moving. Madam Speaker, when we did further research, Madam Speaker, I have in my hand, of course, Madam Speaker, the research material that we received elsewhere. Madam Speaker, would you believe that Mr. John Van Dyke visited Trinidad and Tobago? Yes. He was here. But how he came here? Who brought him here? Madam Speaker, you will not be surprised to know that Mr. John Van Dyke came to Trinidad to find and be in the company of one Mr. Vidya Deokiesingh. Mr. Vidya Deokiesingh brought him here, Madam Speaker, to have meetings concerning business with stakeholders visiting a contractor in Penal. Visiting a contractor in the south of Trinidad, Madam Speaker, visiting contractors in Penal. Madam Speaker, I have in my hand, which I will not show, I have in my hand, Madam Speaker, I have in my hand pictures, Madam Speaker, which I will not show. Madam Speaker, I'm showing myself. I will cross my hand because I don't want to even pick it up. Madam Speaker, in what is either an office or somebody's home, there are 3 persons signing documents here. And 2 persons are very clear. They bear a great resemblance to one Mr. David Abdullah, Mr. Ansel Roger, and the 3rd person indeed has been identified as John Van Dyke. Signing documents here and shaking hands and signing in either an office or house, we do not know. It may well be in a house in Penal that they are signing documents involving serious negotiations with SunStone Equity. Madam Speaker, I call upon the players today. Please don't call me on the pavement and think no more. Please. I call on the players to just indicate to the public when did this meeting take place. Where did this meeting take place? How this meeting take place? Why this meeting took place? What are they signing? What are they signing? And could I ask them to confirm whether indeed Mr. Vidya Deokiesingh took the picture that I have in my hand? Madam Speaker, the gentleman, Mr. Van Dyke, was also in Trinidad. We have a photo of him in a car here with other businessmen and so on, moving in Trinidad. Madam Speaker, it's easy to clarify this. All they have to say is, well, the picture can't be fake, I doubt. is that they were signing, I don't know, a collective agreement or something like that, or they were signing some other document that had nothing to do with refinery.
Making a new bargaining unit.
It was a Susu plan. But you see, Madam Speaker, we cannot take lightly that the Minister of Finance announced, and I get back to the budget, that the only company that said they would pay cash up front is Patriotic. Yeah. And they were paying cash. Were they paying cash from SunStone? And if all the companies, he said, the only one had cash was Patriotic, and that's the only one we don't want cash from. But that is a serious matter.
Member for Puchis, your original time is now spent. You have 10 more minutes to wind up.
Thank you very much. Madam Speaker, I'm told that these materials, Madam Speaker, where I got it from is actually the internet. And they are now available on the internet for others to see. That is where I got it from. Madam Speaker, we need clarity as to what is this gentleman doing, what deal, where. And we have confirmed in our own way, because as I said, we can't leave it for the government, that this gentleman has been a visitor, regular or otherwise, to a contractor in South Trinidad. And that contractor is indeed the premises of AV Drilling. And Madam Speaker, is it that there is some backhand way for persons who have been accused of fake oil and other offenses? Is this a backhand way that they will now claim the refinery? Wow. After the taxpayer put $11 billion into the refinery, they will now claim it and look to make a profit, a good profit, because the rumor down on that side, Madam Speaker, where we operate and where we come from, people are already telling us who they think own the refinery.
All in the family.
All in the family, Madam Speaker, so that there are questions to answer. And when they are, and you see, Madam Speaker, I've connected the gentleman from SunStone. I've connected, SunStone has a relationship with Formula One. Formula One, recipient of cash to go to beneficiaries who I will not name. But the names are there. Why Mr. Goldberg is sending an email to Mr. Deokiesingh and copying Mr. Ed Kane?
With a golden handshake.
Madam Speaker, it is the web that they are producing, Madam Speaker, and infiltrating Trinidad to get their paws on the refinery. That is what they want. Madam Speaker, they must also tell us, because see, we have made the connections now to that matter, that wire transfer. But don't forget there was a wire transfer issue raised last year involving, Madam Speaker, a wire transfer in Doral, Florida, a bank. Madam Speaker, I am told, Madam Speaker, that the money is still there, Madam Speaker. I am told that the money is still there. Madam Speaker, on the internet now, they are saying that John Van Dyke of SunStone Equity was hired by the OWTU to look into the viability of Petrotrin Refinery and says the facility is very valuable. Well, I could imagine it is. Madam Speaker, the gentleman, you're getting it live and direct, and by nightfall, we will confirm. Well, I know, but others will confirm where that picture was taken. And they were signing deals. It is a done deal, Madam Speaker, and they come to fool. Madam Speaker, the wire transfer money that we spoke about last year is still in the bank in Doral, because after the Mark bus, nobody brave to go in the bank. Madam Speaker, I was tempted to go in Florida and say, I'm Vidya Deokiesingh, I come for my money. But I can't do that. I was tempted to do it, but I can't. And I won't do that, Madam Speaker. I won't. Madam Speaker, I won't. I don't want to get myself in more trouble. But the wire transfer is still there. And right through the year, Madam Speaker, when we tried through different means that are lawful, to begin with, are lawful, to get information from the bank's position when contacted, the bank's position is, of course, they cannot breach clients' confidentiality. And this has to be done through institutions of law enforcement in one country to another. Yeah. But the Attorney General spoke early in this debate, said nothing. He told us, follow the money. And I would have thought the Attorney General, and connect the dots, I would have thought the Attorney General would have triggered the mechanism to go to Doral in Miami and just ask the bank, hello, some person in Trinidad raised this matter. We think he's not telling the truth, but could you just confirm that this is not true through the mechanism of the Attorney General's office and the American Institute's law enforcement in the state of Florida? That is the easiest thing to do. We help them with legislation to do that, Madam Speaker. Yeah. In 2018, Madam Speaker, it's from 2018, yes. In October 2018, he confirmed his interest in the viability of the refinery. And he was hired by the OWTU. And with this link now to Vidya Deokiesingh, to AV drilling in South, one wonders what has happened there. And we raise the issues. Because you see, Madam Speaker, the Prime Minister cannot say it's not his friend now. He can't say it's not his friend now. I am not accusing any member of Parliament here of wrongdoing. All I am saying is that they could not at this time tell us about that bank wire transfer in Miami last week. And I just give you another one from the state of Maryland. In a bank now moving to Georgetown Formula One. Formula One linked to Suriname. Operating in Suriname with a diesel trade business that was operational when Petrotrin was alive.
Wow.
When Petrotrin was alive, there was a fuel trade taking place involving persons involved in Petrotrin and Suriname. A man was placed under house arrest in Suriname because of that deal went sour. Mr. Deokiesingh knows about it, and he now comes up in a deal involving the refinery. Oh, what a tangled web we weave. You see, Madam Speaker, they can't tell me what I'm saying is not true, because we also have banking documents from First Citizens Bank in Pinal, Madam Speaker. I never raised this before either, but there are banking documents from First Citizens Bank in Pinal suggesting that we have another transfer, electronic funds transfer, between AV Drilling Oil and Gas Limited to Doral, Florida, Regents Bank with SWIFT code and everything. So look how it connects now. Pinal to Florida, to Washington, back to Guyana, Suriname, with beneficiaries that are identified in Trinidad. 2 beneficiaries of Trinidadian descent, known to many. But Madam Speaker, the government says nothing. And during the year, on another time, I only have, I think, 3 minutes or 4 minutes left. Madam Speaker, during the year, I was able to get some immigration records somehow. I don't know how. But do you know the Prime Minister traveled regularly because he's building miles now. So he traveled regularly, attending all type of things. And there were persons involved in this matter who, when you look at their immigration record of travel, Madam Speaker, almost match the travel and the flight of officials of government. Including, Madam Speaker, a manifest from a private jet. A private jet left Piaco to, of all places, Caracas, Madam Speaker, and synchronized all the time with government officials traveling. Yes. What we are yet to trace, because we can't, because see, once you go in another jurisdiction, you are in a way out of my grab. But one day, maybe the will of God and the will of Superior, one day we may be in a position to investigate. You see, Madam Speaker? One day we may be in a position to track a private jet from Piaco to Caracas and whether that jet connected the passengers to Holland, where they went for another conference. We'll be able to connect all the immigration data to persons involved in this scandal. And that is why they will not easily relent and let go power. Because they know when those of us on this side get to that side. Madam Speaker, last year, when I finished talking last year, the member for Aruka, Maloney, stood up and read a search warrant. Remember that? Today, when I finish, they might stand up and read the sentencing. And you know, when they were pointing fingers at our side, they forget to look at their side. They forget to look at their side. And I have a tip. I have a tip for the member for Aruka, Maloney. I have a tip. When you live in glass houses, you must change your clothes in the basement. That's my tip. Because the member for Aruka Maloney likes reading warrants. And I pray to God that no trouble will befall her, that she may not have to read her own. Madam Speaker, I pray to God, because we are colleagues and we do not wish people bad, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, in winding up, there are questions I have raised. I'm sure colleagues opposite, I encourage them to get the answers. And if we are wrong and you can disconfirm us, no problem. But if we are right, then you should hide. Madam Speaker, thank you.